Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to create this cover page for your journal. It's fairly simple and it's just utilizing the different little Halloween doodles that I talked about in my blog. So first, I already sketched it out in pencil, but just to give you guys a general idea of what I did is I drew the banner and then put in the letters, and then I started drawing the different doodles around it. When I was sketching it, I didn't worry about too much, whether I was going to put it in front of the banner or behind the banner. And only after I finished drawing all the different items did I go back with an eraser and decide which ones I wanted to go behind the banner, which ones I wanted to do in front. And generally most of them are going to be behind the banner because I want the word to be obvious. And so if you're putting too many things in front, then it gets a little bit crowded and then you can't see the word October. But again, that's a personal preference. You can also wrap stuff around the banner. So for example, I have my lollipop and my candy wrapped around the banner, which makes it, a little bit more three-dimensional and fun. So there are a couple things now that I'm looking at this completed sketch that I would change if I could, which is that, for example, my pumpkins and my spider webs are stacked one above the other, which makes it a little bit heavy on the left side and a little bit light on the right side, also a little bit repetitive. So if I were to redo this, I would maybe swap the pumpkins around. So there's one pumpkin to the right and then the spider web to the left, instead of both having the spider web to the right and the pumpkin to the left. But that's a personal preference, and there's no right way, wrong way to do it. It's just whatever whatever fits you. But that's something that I've noticed after completing the piece. And the other thing that I've been enjoying doing lately is doing texture for my letters. So instead of coloring it in solidly black or a solid color, leave some white space because that gives it a little bit more texture and it makes it look less flat. And it's just more lively. Also, I've been very much enjoying the kawaii style or the cute style of drawing, of doodling. So I've just been adding faces to everything. Like the cauldron and the candy. The ghosts and the pumpkins, definitely you want to have some faces because jack-o'-lanterns and ghosts should have them. But also the face that I did for my bottom pumpkin is more of a cute face than the traditional jack-o'-lantern face. So again, personal preference, whatever you're enjoying currently, you can incorporate it into your illustration. And again, you don't have to actually color it in. You can just leave it black and white, and then just maybe add a little bit of shading to give it a little bit more depth and make it look less monotonous. But I like to color it in. It gives me an opportunity to use all my different markers, especially these calligraphs. And then I've also been just doing mostly traditional colors, so an orange pumpkin, the candy corn is orange, my ghosts are a light gray. But you can do, you can make it a little bit more fantastical. Maybe do a purple pumpkin or a bright green pumpkin. Again, it's up to you, and you don't be like me and don't always have to do the same colors or the realistic colors. It's sometimes more fun to have a blue pumpkin and a blue candy corn. All right. The other thing I like to do is, instead of coloring my whole banner into a solid color, which then makes it a little bit too heavy, I like to just hint at the color by doing a color on top and on the bottom of the banner. So in this case, it looks like a slight brown banner without being completely overwhelmingly brown. Because a solid color is sometimes a little bit too much. And then most importantly for the coloring is, if you want to bring your illustrations to life, is to have some shadows and highlights. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just adding shadows to the bottom left-hand corner because my light source is always in the upper right-hand corner. So whatever you decide to do, if you decide to do shadows, make sure you keep them consistent on the same side. Similarly with the highlights, upper right-hand corner is where my light source is, so my highlights tend to be on the upper right. So just, make sure you keep it consistent, otherwise it can be a little bit confusing to the eye. And then once you're done with that, you can add in some little doodles if you feel like there's any empty space, which I always do. So I'm adding some stars and dots, which are my usual little doodles. And then finally, adding in the shadows, because that's what makes the illustration seem to come to life for me. But again, these are all just like stylistic choices. So that's it for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. Thanks for watching.